Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Today, along with Kristen Clark, the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division, I am announcing, following an extensive review of publicly available information, that the Justice Department has opened an investigation to determine whether the Mount Vernon Police Department engages in a pattern or practice of unconstitutional or unlawful policing. Police officers have tough jobs. Most of them do their work honorably, lawfully, and with distinction, respecting the rights of the people they have sworn to protect. But when officers break the law, they violate their oath and undermine a community's trust. The investigation we are announcing today will assess whether the Mount Vernon Police Department engages in discriminatory conduct, singling out Black residents for mistreatment. Our investigation will also assess whether the Mount Vernon Police Department engages in a pattern or practice of unconstitutional or unlawful conduct, including the use of excessive force, unlawful strip and body cavity searches, and falsifying evidence. It will include a comprehensive review of the Mount Vernon Police Department's policies, training, supervision, and internal investigations. This effort will be staffed by experienced career attorneys and other personnel from this office and from the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. In the days to come, our team looks forward to speaking with residents and community groups, Mount Vernon Police Department officers, and others who can provide information relevant to our investigation. Each stakeholder offers an important perspective and can provide information to our investigators that they need to conduct a thorough assessment. And we ask that anyone who has information relevant to this investigation to contact the Department of Justice via email at community.mvpd@usdoj.gov. Should our investigation find reasonable cause to believe that there is a pattern or practice of unconstitutional or unlawful policing, we will issue a public report detailing our conclusions. The Justice Department also has the authority to bring a civil lawsuit seeking an order from a federal court requiring the Mount Vernon Police Department to change any unlawful practices. Now, typically, when the Justice Department finds that a police department is engaging in unlawful patterns or practices, we enter into a settlement agreement or a consent decree with the police department that requires specified reforms designed to ensure its officers follow the law going forward. This office has previously done so with the Beacon and the Yonkers police departments to the benefit of both departments. My office has already begun to reach out to community groups and members of the Mount Vernon Police Department and the public about their experiences with the Mount Vernon Police Department. And again, we seek to hear from the officers about their training and support they receive because their perspective is essential. And should our investigation find a pattern or practice of unlawful conduct, all of these voices will be critical in designing, implementing, and monitoring needed reforms. Earlier today, our team met with the mayor of Mount Vernon and the commissioner of the Mount Vernon Police Department, and I'm pleased to report that both have pledged to cooperate fully with our investigation. We look forward to proceeding in that spirit. And now it is my pleasure to introduce to the podium Kristen Clark, the Assistant Attorney General of the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division. I have known and admired Kristen for years, and I am excited to work with her and her team on this important investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, United States Attorney Williams, for that kind introduction. As noted, the Civil Rights Division of the U.S. Department of Justice places a high priority on ensuring that law enforcement officers act in a lawful and constitutional manner. An effective and accountable police department is a hallmark of a healthy and well-functioning democracy. As the United States Attorney just announced, following an extensive review of publicly available information, today we are opening a civil pattern or practice investigation into the City of Mount Vernon and the Mount Vernon Police Department. This is an investigation that will be conducted jointly by career lawyers in the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Civil Rights Division. This marks the fourth pattern or practice investigation opened this year. The Civil Rights Division is already working on similar investigations in Phoenix, Louisville, and Minneapolis. In those cities, we're fortunate to have the support of city officials and police chiefs, and we're pleased that Mount Vernon's mayor and police chief have pledged their support as well. In our investigations in Phoenix, Louisville, and Minneapolis, Justice Department lawyers have had in-person and virtual meetings with close to more than 1,000 community stakeholders. Hundreds more have submitted messages to the department. Department lawyers have participated in over 75 ride-alongs with officers. We've had more than 20 meetings with command staff, and we've also spoken to hundreds of officers in individual interviews, focus groups, and roll call briefings. We will take the same approach here. Although Mount Vernon is a smaller department than Minneapolis, Louisville, or Phoenix, the work remains the same. The Mount Vernon investigation that we are announcing today continues our work to protect constitutional and federal rights while fostering public safety across our country. Under the Fourth Amendment, we have the right to be free from the use of excessive force. We have the right to be free from unlawful strip searches and body cavity searches. We also have the right to be free from fabricated or falsified evidence. And under the 14th Amendment, the Safe Streets Act, and Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, we have the right to be free from racially discriminatory policing practices. Our investigation will examine whether the Mount Vernon Police Department upholds these federal rights. Based on our review of publicly available information and information provided directly to us, we find significant justification to open this investigation now. For example, we have received information about the repeated use of excessive force, often against individuals who are handcuffed, are already in police custody, or are suspected of non-violent offenses, including excessive force against minors. In some cases, the injuries these individuals suffered were severe. Similarly, reports indicate that officers routinely conducted searches without sufficient legal basis, including strip searches, visual body cavity searches, and manual body cavity searches, at times in public or in the presence of another person. We have received a number of allegations about how the department handles evidence. We've also received reports that officers target Black residents for abuse and excessive force, including information suggesting that supervisors teach this targeting to their subordinates. As we investigate all of these allegations, we will meet with officers and command staff as well as members of the broader Mount Vernon community. We will review incident reports, body-worn camera footage, and other data and documentation collected by the department. We'll also review the department's policies, training materials, and supervision records, as well as documents related to systems of accountability, including how complaints are investigated and how discipline is imposed. We will hear from community members about their experiences with the police department. As U.S. Attorney Williams already noted, members of our team are on the ground now. They have met with leaders in the city of Mount Vernon and in the police department, and I will repeat the message that our team conveyed today. We are committed to following the facts where they lead, and we will do so in a timely manner. And if we conclude that there are no systemic violations of constitutional or federal statutory rights by the city or the police department, U.S. Attorney Williams and I will make that known. But if, on the other hand, we conclude that there is reasonable cause to believe that such violations are occurring, we will issue a report providing a comprehensive assessment of our findings, and will aim to work cooperatively with the city to reach agreement on a remedy for any violations. If an appropriate remedy can't be achieved through agreement, the Attorney General is authorized to bring litigation to secure an appropriate injunctive remedy. We look forward to working with the city and the Mount Vernon Police Department towards the shared goal of ensuring constitutional policing and fostering greater cooperation between law enforcement officers and the community members that they serve. Thank you.
So, first of all, this is a civil investigation being conducted by, among others, the Civil Rights Unit in our Civil Division, which since 1971 has been doing outstanding work in this area. If there are facts and circumstances that lead us to believe that a criminal matter needs to be opened, of course, we will have all resources available to do that.
So we received complaints from the public, and we reviewed publicly available information about the Mount Vernon Police Department. That's what we do in all of these matters, and we will follow the facts and see where they lead. But complaints to the department and publicly available information provided the basis for this investigation.
Well, certainly this is a department-wide priority. It's a priority of this office during my time as U.S. Attorney. I think it's always been a priority of this office. We have done excellent work for generations in this area, but I think it's fair to say that this department, under the Attorney General and the Assistant Attorney General, Kristen Clark, have made this work an incredible priority for their tenure, and I'm proud to be partnering with them and to drive the work forward.
Should departments in Southern District be on notice now with you immediately?
Well, look, it is fair to say that we will follow the facts and the law wherever they lead. And so if there's indication that other departments have similar problems, of course, we will be taking a look at that. But today we're talking about Mount Vernon.
Sure, thanks a lot. Inner city presence for U.S. Attorney Williams. Do you see any impact on your office's prosecutions and even some convictions in the sense that you have like violations of supervised release, felony possession? There are a number of cases that have been referred to your office from that police department. Are there any under review, or are you going to treat those referrals differently during the pendency of the investigation?
I think what I can say to that is that we will, of course, take a look at whatever this investigation uncovers, and making sure that that the systems that we take a look at in Mount Vernon are lawful and constitutional. We're looking at everything, of course, as the Assistant Attorney General said. And as far as other matters and how they connect to the criminal division here in my office, that's for another day, another time.
You mentioned body cameras. Have you instructed the police department to hold on to that, and how far do they go back to that?
Well, As the investigation gets underway, looking at body-worn camera footage, policies, training materials, systems of accountability, we will look at the entire picture. We will be very comprehensive in gathering information about how this police department operates and see where the facts lead.
And then they've been instructed to maintain, to hold on to that material?
In general, with these investigations, we don't expect law enforcement agencies to destroy evidence. Our team is on the ground meeting with officials and making clear how they will conduct and carry out the investigation.